but you feel so different. Makes me wanna risk it every time I look at you. You pull me back into your river, swim a little deeper. I don't
Tom's Tourney 2023, and it is hotting up in the women's division. We have Power Pool M in front of us. BFD Shout coming in at the top of it, and the Belgian women coming in at the bottom position in this Power Pool. But don't underestimate them. They're a talented squad with their eyes on the prize for Limerick later on this year. But Shout coming in first seed in the overall rankings of this tournament. Of course, had a good time last time they were here in Bruges, winning the whole thing. But myself, Hannah Penderbury, alongside Charlotte Tennyson, who's going to have to try and be unbiased as possible, aren't you, Charlotte?
I'm trying my best, Hannah, and I mean, I've been working on it already 2 weeks ago at a Padova Invite.
Indeed. How did Shout get on there?
That was amazing. They did great, as expected, from the champions of Europe, and won the spot for the EUCF this year, beating Brugge, who gave them a hell of a fight. That was a really nice game, but Shout made it out with the win and the gold medal to get the spot.
Indeed, the women of Bologna, a very talented squad, and of course a couple of extra personnel for this season. Notably, I'm very excited to watch Lasma Kudblitska from Latvia, who's come along to join the outfit, who will be wearing white shirts. You see a O-line coming out. For a minute there I thought it would be D-line because I saw Anna Jeski on, but she's now advanced to the seniority of being on the O-line for Bologna, which we love to see.
Yeah, there were a bit of changes since last year, because they got a lot of new players coming from the Cheetah team, which is the second team from BFD women, and a lot of them got a lot of experience, and they're skilled, talented players who got their spot on the Shout team for this year to prepare, I guess, a long project for next World Club Championship.
Absolutely. We talk a lot about the depth of the talent on the open side for the Italian nation, but of course a lot of great clubs, Tequila Boom Boom as well, and it's going to be exciting to see how they come out in their national team. But Shout coming out on offense against the Belgian side. We got our first look at in the showcase game against the Netherlands women in Leuven about 2 weeks ago. Chesky dancing around the back, being marked by Castillo. This is nice patience, but a laser inside backhand, finding the bread box of Gaia Pancotti, and that's the first score on the board for BFD Shout.
Very nice put from Chesky here with a beautiful inside directly in the hands of Pancotti for the goal. Now we get to see what the Belgium women team has as an offense set. Who are the players on the O-line? What are their tactics? How are they going to play? I haven't seen Belgian women team play yet. I don't think we got them on stream.
We had them in the showcase, which unfortunately someone ended up pulling our power cable out halfway through that one, so we weren't able to bring you the end of it where the Dutch sort of raced away. But The Belgians are a very tasty team. They have had some success, well, a mixed bag a little bit here thus far. They were initially in Pool L alongside the French women, the German Masters and LMU. They ended up getting 2 wins. And, sorry, they came out of the pool of 4 even. So they emerged second position in their original seeding. But in terms of experience, they have a lot of really great shooters, although low wind conditions right now, which doesn't really help, but throws into trying to hit that isolated player, but Kublitska coming underneath on the defense and making the block. Now, Golina with the disc on the far sideline is going to have to take the reset. Giordini. Oh, great run through attempt, but couldn't quite deny. Ugolini moves it across. Lots of flustering in the front stack, just squeaking one through. Bit more patience now, but this is really good red zone defense from Belgium's O-line.
Yeah, shot trying to find that last pass coming here.
And Kublitska with the eyes on the prize, and that is a break for BFD Shout. 2-0 they lead.
Great defense by Lasma, showing off her athleticism. I mean, she's been working a lot this past year, due to Achilles tendon injury. She tore her Achilles tendon, also known as the kiss of the devil, I think, is the name of the injury, because it is one of the hardest injury to recover from. But you know Lasma, she's not giving up, and she worked out so hard all this year to come back here and give us some highlights we know Lasma for.
Absolutely, not having to do the balletic towing that we've seen in previous scoring possessions for the young Latvian. But yeah, she's not a stranger to injury, not a stranger to rehabbing, and I think that's a real testament to the mental strength that Kublitska has. And it's such a real mental battle. Yourself, Charlotte, you'll know this for a fact, because that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, indeed. And we are in contact with Lasma, because it is important to have such people, mentally strong, as you're saying, who can cheer you up and share this pain, but at the same time, like the happy parts of it, and encourage you to just keep up going. And
absolutely, well, that's the whole reason why team sports are such a great environment. You know, you have that mentality of support. You know, because life is about ebb and flow, and you don't always find yourself on top of the mountain. Sometimes you're in the valley. But a pit call is going to give us a brief pause. Emerging from the stack there was Perrine de Hasp.
Perrine de Haas, who has been on the national team scene for a long time as a junior as well, but since before Belgium didn't have women junior, she used to play in open division, playing with the guys in Frankfurt 2015, and doing great.
Silkanov there, who had 2 sneaky COVID babies and now sneaking towards the end zone. Her teammates can't quite hit her. Dasp. A little bit high, but well kept. Komik. Resets taken. Pressure being laid on by Shout. Great hands from Van Eyck. Oh, Nolf in the end zone, and that is the first goal. At long last, a hold for the Belgian women.
Very tight defense by Shout, but Belgian women just made their way through the defense. Waited through when needed. Very nice aggressive attack to get all these discs.
So good patience from the Belgians there. Just threading those passes together, waiting, being conservative. And I think that's really what you need to do against Shout.
Yeah, they saw the previous offense, how it went, and decided to keep it more conservative, as you're saying, to not let Shout get that hand on the disc.
Well, Kmekova looking hungry when she ran through, nearly snagged the disc away from Esther Van Eyck.
Krakmova being one of the added pickups from the team on the team shouts, coming from Slovakia but playing in Austria. She's a great input to the team. She can be a cutter as well as a handler, and actually won the prize of breakout player in mixed division EUCF this year. Last year.
Baroni on the far side. Bengi. Venturi looking around for options. Still count rising through. A lovely saucy lower backhand break. Red zone offense now. Opportunity is found, and that's a dishy over the top off the hands of Baroni, but a pick call.
But a very nice high release over the shoulders of the defense, indeed.
So we're going to get an action replay. Love that shot, though.
Look at this lovely pass. So close to the hands of the mark.
Well, that's a thing to point out, is the speed of that release. You know, the hands go up a little bit too late. Oh, and it's another high dish. This time, though, a lead for Iliara Bonfante. And the next shout goal is collected. 3-1 they lead.
I think Giulia Baroni really likes these high releases. It's already the third one on this game. Enjoying to get over the mark. You might have noticed that one of the Scazzieri sisters is missing on the field today. And Irene Scazzieri is actually in San Francisco currently, trying out for the USA season.
Ooh, which club team is she trying to seduce into taking her? Not that it's a hard battle, she's amazing.
She will be trying out in San Francisco and San Diego clubs, so...
Well, San Francisco would be Fury.
Exactly.
And San Diego would potentially be the new unit that's got Flipside? Well, I'll tell you what, we have the power of our good friend El Goog, or Google.
We're still waiting for the results, but I strongly doubt that they won't take the strong Irene Scazzieri, highlight maker from the shout.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, but an absolute bomb coming off of the Belgian hands, and a high rising grab of Rebroek with the goal, and that's more like it for Team Belgium.
Very beautiful hug from the Belgian girls. Belgian women starting to get into the game. Showing what they got. Look at this beautiful catch. Great lecture by the player.
Yep.
Eva Rebroek. Marchesini so close to get to that disc.
But just not quite enough, you know. But it was a really lovely put. Great throwing from Naomi Norris. And welcome, welcome to our new patrons, Barbara Blum and Camilla Spearing. Thank you very much for becoming a patron of Ultimate Art as we bring you this artistic offense from the women of Bologna. Really good giving it going.
Quick
Baroni.
game by the offense here. Capucci running everywhere for these give and goes.
Well, a very short player, so that centre of gravity being lowered to the ground, I'm sure she runs all kinds of mischief around this sort of saggy, zony, poachy look. I like it in terms of trying to slow down Shout's offense, but that's going to be just good enough. I think that's Capucci there just going to ground to make sure that goal is caught.
One Capucci to make the disc move in the handling, and the other one to get that score.
Ah, 2 Capuccis for your money. They related?
They are sisters.
Well, you would be surprised how many times, Charlotte, that we have people with the same surname on a roster that are absolutely not related whatsoever, and they come up to us after games and they're like, "That's not my brother. That's not my. That's not my sister. I'm in no way related to this person. We just have the same surname."
I mean, let us adopt. Ultimate is family business, you know. So many brothers and sisters playing together, even cousins. You assume that people are brother and sister when they have the last name similar. I mean, first reflex.
Absolutely, a natural assumption to make. But at the moment, you would assume that Shout are going to push through in this one. They came out with the advantage, but the Belgians are starting to wake up, shake off some of that early morning jitters and fire a bit better. That's a really nice one. It's going to have to be tracked down, though, overshooting Naomi Knowles. There was a really good opportunity, but a bit wasted. So just wiping the disc there, a little bit wet underfoot for Babaglia. Another leading high backhand pass, Accorsi. Oh, that nearly slipped out for Bonaccini. Oh, but an easy find, just tiptoeing into the end zone. That's going to be called good by the player, but a travel from the defense. Marcassini looking around, dishes back. Nearly the block for Nov. Good passes across the back.
I was expecting that big look, exactly like this one on the other side.
Wow, shooting it to the height. Martina Kmetsova with the goal. And Shout take another in this game, a break to put them 5 to Belgians 2.
Great look by Rabalia, putting that disc above the defense, right in the back of the end zone to Martina, who would have jumped if needed, no doubt about it.
I'm just sad, though. It was just a straight-up error that gave the Bolognans the disc. We know they're capable of playing some fiery defense. I want to see some more of it. But that's a really lovely arcing shot just into that back side of the end zone. Got to be picture perfect with those. You put too much juice on them, they're going out of bounds.
They do. So you'd rather have your players jump for it or attempt a greatest. I'm down for that.
I'll tell you what, we see so few greatest in the women's division. We clearly need to get everyone on board with training for them, you know?
More hammers and more greatest.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
De La Fortry, far side, dishing back. Good movement around, but that one's a little bit too low to be collected. It's going to come unstuck. Oh, turning around and grabbing the goal. Eleonora Lafi.
No time to just get that point done.
Yep, that is how you are brutal and ruthless and just demoralize your opponents. It feels a little bit like the Belgians are just inside their head, Charlotte.
Yeah, they don't seem to be in the game, and that is why they are calling that timeout. I think they would need to readjust the tactics and find their way of playing and not let Shout impose their game.
Absolutely, they're running away with it at the moment after that error once again. There was an attempt to get low and rescue the disc, but as the players on the pitch take a brief repose to get some wise words of wisdom from their coaches, we will also take a brief moment. We'll be right back with the rest of the action of this game after these messages.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI.TV. ULTILeague.net.
Well, after the timeout in this game, hopefully the Belgian women here in the Tourney tournament can find some magic to try and claw back some of the 3 breaks they trail below BFD Shout, who are looking large and in charge and well deserving of their first place seeding coming into the standings here. Van Eyck.
Here is the typical Shout's defense, the toolbox, zone D. Each person has a tool name, that is why it's called the toolbox. Positions are named after tools.
Well, Harris is going to chuck a high arcing one on the far sideline to the Hasp.
Belgians is just making their way through that cup.
Oh, and popping back to the other. The Hasp and Harris working together to annihilate that Italian zone by just jamming it down the sideline.
Great job. I mean, Julia Harris knows how this zone works and knows how to play against it, because she also played last year with Shout for the whole season, going at the National Italian Championship, going to Cincinnati, Ohio Club World Championship, and EUCF, of course. So whole season with Shout, she had time to study the playbook well and use it now against them.
That insider knowledge. They have rules against that sort of thing, don't you know? So 6-3 the score.
Maria with the pull.
Very nicely fielded into Bonfante. And a flat sort of arrowhead structure for the zone to try and contain the flame of Shout. Cheshki going high over Nolf. Good flow. Oh, but just stumbling around. Giulia Baroni trying to connect.
Would this be a first break for Belgium? I mean, that is their opportunity now.
Oh, yes, it would. Castillo with the disc.
It's not every day Christmas.
On the Velda. Castillo ripping a huge backhand. That is got to be on the money, but it bounces off of the hands. A little bit of contact there, but I'm not sure how much of a difference that made.
Yeah, the lecture wasn't so good, I think, to have a good positioning for the hands, but still.
There's definitely a little bit of contact, I think, with the defender falling, which maybe puts Maxon off a little bit more than it would otherwise have. But she did get both hands to it.
She did. But the bounce. I can understand it disturbs you as you're trying to focus on catching, but how much was it really contact, pushing the player, deviating her from her direction, or hitting her hand that she drops. And this is a retracted call and turnover indeed.
Yeah, good decision. Eva Maxson having a little chat there. Fun facts about Eva Maxson. She's proficient in macrame, but also owns and founded the Minnesota Strike Pro team in America.
Oh, and she actually played in the Roller Soccer World Cup in 2010 in Italy, so ultimate is not her first sport.
Wow, clearly a very talented athlete. We love a bit of that. Roller soccer, not something I've come across before, to be honest.
Oh, indeed.
Well, to tell you what, the Belgian women are coming all the way across the pitch and squeaking every last inch out of that long shot with Bengi. This is nice flow across, high reaching grab. Holsters. Venturi. Oh, and an easy one for Anna Czeski, just collecting in stride with ease.
Beautiful give and go as usual. Fast offense from like the typical Italian style. Talking about roller soccer, do you know this sport? Have you already seen competition?
No, I really have never. So
anyone on the chat watching us, do you know about this sport?
Roller soccer. Oh my goodness, it is indeed. It's soccer played on inline skates. So I tell you what, the amount of core strength and balance you would need to have to play roller soccer. We're going to have to get Maxon and talk to her about that at some point. If we ever interview her, maybe we'll do that. We'll do that, Charlotte, between games. we'll bring that to you on the ULTI.TV Instagram.
How can you use your feet to hit the ball while
well, that's the thing. You're going to have to like position yourself with one leg on the inline skate and one leg kicking, and not kick it so hard that you're actually ending up your momentum over. Yeah, that's well. Yeah, there you go. That's what you can do between games.
For now. Short pull for a shot, not crossing the half field line.
Yeah, that's not what you want as a D-line, but it happens. And a gift for the Belgians. Can they make the most of it? Kromhik. Big around backhand break. Love that.
Byrne looking for the break side.
Nose. That's a little bit low, but easy collection. A little bit static upfield, not really much happening. Muscling though towards that front cone.
Very close to the line, but she managed to keep her feet in.
Yeah, Ella Kromhik. A little bit of a cuddle there with Kubliczka afterwards, having to absolutely grind her way through that point, and a good hold for the Belgian women. So, Charlotte, having played with Shout in previous seasons, what would you do as a player to try and prevent the flow that they're getting right now? Because they really do seem to be getting all the options they want.
I would rather go for either force in or force out. Don't keep one force. Like, don't just go sidearm or backhand, because then they know exactly on what side they will be open, and just keep this flow that is, I would say, easier. Well, if you go force in, for example, force middle, they will have to adjust, and of what's been going on at practice, I think it's what gives them more trouble.
Well, the Belgians have decided to go for this zone again with this flat wall in front of the handlers, just allowing the Bologna team to just easily pass it between each other, not putting too much pressure, just trying to contain laterally. But eventually the shot is going to be found. It's a little bit too much of a risky biscuit, though, sailing over the head of Sofia Scattieri.
Then zone was also a good decision, waiting for this riskier pass.
Yeah, trying to goad your opponents into making poor life choices with the disc. There is a deep shot available. Hanging out in the space, though, is Bonfante, able to put the pressure on and deny Marchand the low grab. After a little bit of an underthrow, perhaps. Czeski, high toss, way over the top of any sort of waving arms, and the goal straight away into the end zone. Elisa Capucci with the goal for Shout.
Shot counter-attack is very fast. They practice this a lot at during practice, home practice. The coaches are always telling the team to quickly get the disc off the ground and go play and counter-attack as fast as you can so that the defense cannot set it up. And this is exactly what they need against the zone, as did Women Belgium. But you need a bit of time to reset a zone defense more than a simple person D. And here with a fast counter-attack, defense doesn't have time, and it is much, much harder to block those quick give and goes.
Absolutely, and Shout making quick work of that one to punch it in after the squandered opportunity that was generated by the zone. I think maybe the Belgians, you know, we did say earlier on, they don't really quite seem to have their heads screwed on this morning. This is not the level of play they're capable of, and I think it was just that it's difficult to execute those big long throws when you're quite, you know, not quite on the money. But coming out on offense now and needing to just get a couple more holds. Shout leading the charge with 3 breaks up, as well as the advantage from having started out on offense, because there is no half time in these hour-long 15-minute hard cap games here in Tom's. Things will change slightly when we get to semis and finals, though. Delafortry going to have to be delicate with the footwork. She is. A player who had 2, as we lovingly call them, sneaky COVID babies, across to Kromheke.
Belgian women showing that they can also play through a zone defense, using those swings and moving forward when possible.
Well, one of the strengths of the Belgian women are their talented handlers that can sort of just eat up these yards. Nice aggressive positioning from Delafortry, allowing that sort of little bit of extra. Oh, and she finds the target in the zone, and that is a beautiful shot. Well collected. There has with the goal.
Very nice work from the Belgian women, keeping that patience. As we're talking against the zone that you need against the zone, you cannot just throw whatever out of patience. And swung the disc, waiting for this opening opportunity. Perfectly put here to Perrine De Hasp for the goal for Belgian women.
So I really do like that positioning aggressively to gain the yards for Delafortry, and by putting herself there and the time that the zone has to make up to then catch up and apply that cup really opens up that shot. So good vision, a good hold, but now Belgium really need to turn on the fire with the defense to try and get a neck into this game.
They do. Since the beginning of the game, they've been improving a lot on their offense, as we're saying, putting their own game and not just playing after the shout defense. But now the next step is increasing the defense aggressivity, pace, and get the discs back for the breaks they need to catch up and tie up the game.
Well, we do have some home fan support as we see a huge ripper coming out of Bonfante, but it's going to be taken away by Eva Maxson.
Nice positioning from Eva Maxson for the defense.
It's all that roller soccer. All that roller soccer. Belper. Hombergen now puts one up for Castillo. It's going to run underneath it and collect, and there we go. That's one break back Shout still have 4, they still have the advantage, but that'll do very nicely. And look at the energy now in the Belgian national women's team.
And that is what you need for the defense. You have to fire up your players on defense to attack every disc, to fight for it, to be hungry for the defense. Because Shout is not going to just give it to you. There was one Christmas present at some point, but they are not going to happen every point, and you really need to go get the disc if you want a defense. And Belgian women still need 3 to go if they want to take the lead of the game. We're only halfway through the time of the game. Everything's possible. I still say it.
Anything is possible when you believe. And that is the thing that the Belgian women's team now need to do, is back themselves, have a bit of belief. In terms of the representation, though, for the... Oh, that could have been quite the moment there. That made me gasp properly. Shawnee Marchand showing she is on fire and ready to get blocks. Bonfante anchoring this defense, offense at the back.
Oh, nice bid.
Good recovery for sure. Belgians playing the zone again. It's worked a couple times. But Shout definitely have the ability to just have a high pass count, keep themselves steady. Baroni. Gaia Pancotti looking dangerous over the backside of this zone, but Castillo coming through with a block. Harris surveys Castillo with the bookends. It is going to be 3 on the bounce for Belgian women. Are they back in this game? Oh my goodness, they are.
Here it is. We're talking about it, and they stepped up in defense. Hungry for the disc. Maria Castello wants the disc, wants the win for her team. She also knows Shout, quite familiar with the playing style of the Bolognese, because she also plays with Yaka and played the whole season last season with Yaka, joining them on EUCF, on World Club Championship. So she had the opportunity several times to meet Shout and get familiar with their game.
Absolutely. Shout and Yaka at the top of the women's elite scene here in Europe. Although it was a bit of a one-sided final in Caroline last year.
Unfortunately, yes, it was
not a good day at the office for Yaka. Definitely not.
The sad part is that the year before the same thing happened, but on the other side, Yaka smashed Shout on the second half with a wide difference of point, something like 15-8 or 9.
Yep.
And same thing happened last year in Carle, but on the other side, Shout winning against Yaka. Maybe next year, this year will be tighter game. We hope so, because we love to have a good show for finals.
Absolutely, we do, and I'm sure we'll get a pretty good final. Maybe one of these teams will be their power pool currently in front of us, so this is playing for your position going into the championship bracket, because these are the upper power pools coming through and putting the pressure on, but cannot stop the flow of the Italians.
Marchesini here to save the pass.
Bonfante pulling across. Now it's a Melton match from Belgium. Czeszki now in so much space. Who was marking Scazzieri? Because they were nowhere near her. She shoots, she scores. Marchesini with the goal.
Close to the line, got it in.
Well, much needed for Shout, though. That would have put us on level. They maintain their little bit of air injection, a little cushion for them. 9-7 they lead, but Belgium are on the chase. They have a scent.
Yeah, Shout just putting a reminder that they're still here. It's not because you broke us that we're not playing anymore, but I think they're also a bit scared of those breaks and wanted to get that point to cheer up the team and say, hey, wake up, girls. We also can score breaks. We're not going to let them do what they want. Now we got to fight, real. But actually, you were talking about, Hannah, you were talking about the importance of this game, what they are playing for, and indeed, anyway, these teams are in quarterfinals. Both teams qualified for quarterfinals, and now this is just the power brackets, crossovers of the power bracket, playing for the seeding of the quarterfinals.
Exactly. So this is Power Pool M. So you're looking to get yourself, if you can keep a top spot. So for Shout at the moment coming in top spot, they will face the bottom of the opposing power pool. So this is all about giving yourself, in theory, what should be an easier way into the championship finals, if you can, here at Tom's Tourney in Bruges. But the Belgian women with the disc and looking nicely in flow. Still count rising, but Delafortri coming round. Opens up a lovely big backhand, but that's going to be possibly a bit too far. Yeah, no big comes. Good marshalling from Kubliczka there, trying to hit Ella Kromheke.
I really thought that Kromheke would have gone for the full body extension here to save that disc.
Wasn't quite the right throw. I think the wind started to just about emerge here, local time nearly midday.
But I mean, with a player as strong as Kromheke, anything's possible.
Oh, yes.
You would expect any kind of plays.
But an opportunity for Shout to re-establish their margin. Currently 2 points ahead. And the D-line with an opportunity, but it just slips out of the fingers like a slippery eel.
Didn't practice her flubberguts.
That one gets away from Shout. And Knowles will get us underway.
Second chance for Belgian women to score their offense.
Delafortri with a visionary put across the field. Van Wijk. Ratanska. This is all pretty quiet. Just going for the end zone, and the block from Lasma Kubliczka denying Ella Kromheke.
I think it would have been better for Belgian women to get out of this trap situation rather than forcing the uplines, so especially when you have Lasma Kubliczka on the defense.
I feel like this is one of those situations where you have a trust pool going from one teammate to another teammate, where I know she can get this, I know she can get this. But yeah, when you've got a world-class defender like Kubliczka on you, you can't really just have those run and try and just foot race it out. Kubliczka's going to rip one deep. There is space there, but it's going to trail out of bounds. Not the execution desired. And Bonfante signalling where it's going to come back in.
Oh, there is a travel call.
On the preceding pass to Kubliczka's.
Not quite sure of what's happening, because if it's a travel, that doesn't change the outcome of this pass.
Ah, the old continuation rules. Quirky things. Obviously, both teams' captains can decide to overrule any other rule if they feel like it didn't affect the play. But we won't get into the boring technicalities of continuation and the WFDF rule set, which of course is the rule set that these games are all being played under. The latest from the World Federation. But a bit of an elongated discussion while the players figure things out. So it looks like this one is going to come back based on the continuation rules of the infraction occurring well before the pass that caused the turnover.
Oh, because it wasn't the pass. Okay. Travel happened way before.
As I say, the continuation rules, they're real weird. But thus is life. It's not a full stoppage, it's a travel call.
Back in the game.
Absolutely, Kubliczka gets another go.
Is she gonna hug it again?
Well, the stall count is starting to rise. She might just have to chuck it and hope. She puts one up into the air and the sky, and a nice high grab, well collected by Angelica Sarti.
Got a pick on the stack. This going back to 2. Nice inside look through the hands of the mark.
This is really great pressure from Belgium's defense. They have arrived finally in this game. That one's going to go way too far, asking a lot of Angelica Sarti to try and explode out of the blocks and collect that one.
Indeed, Hannah. Belgian women's really stepped up on the defense, putting much more pressure.
Oh, but the pressure's getting even to them. Kubicka running and taking 2 defenders with her. Travel call, it's going to put us back though. Another travel to roll, rewind. Can I get a rewind?
Excuse me, I have something to catch up here.
Me turning into a bit of a garage MC here in the booth. Bubbling fresh.
What an unfortunate drop for Belgian women. This is a issue that D-line knows a lot, is you need to be fired up to get the defenses and really be hungry, as we were saying, and attack everything. But whenever you get that turn, you really need to take a deep breath, slow down, and focus on what you're doing on offense, because you cannot rush things on offense as you do it on defense. And these are 2 completely different mindsets. Ooh.
Telefortri immediately calling her own foul there. Bit too much contact, but hey, great effort from Kubicka to even have a go at it still after the coming together. But look at that muscling. Kubicka looking for options. Sideline trying to tell Komherka that the disc was coming. The flow though from Shout is delicious and delightful, and that is a break of score, 10-7.
Beautiful flow. Never stopping, just continue finding always someone free for the continuation. Never stop. Defense is really hard to set in this kind of situation. Just run after the disc, but never have time to mark, never have time to stop. You have to run after those players.
An unfortunate one there for the Belgian women. They had some real nice opportunities, but just couldn't quite make it happen. And a little bit of luck, I think, in terms of the executions going in favour of Shout. Talking a bit more about the makeup of the Belgian side, because we've chatted a lot about sorry, not CUSP. They're no longer CUSP, of course. BFD Shout. It's such a nice thing to say, CUSP. It rolls off the tongue. But
everyone knows CUSP now.
Now it's BFD. A little bit like the big friendly giant of Roald Dahl fame, but. Talking a bit more about the Belgian women, it's quite a sort of good spread of the origins of these players. We've got some moon catchers, some Frisbees, as alongside gentle players, and even some flying rabbits. We've got Charlotte Advielle coming from Flying Rabbits, who are a team that Liam Grant's not such a fan from, because they had the Irish national anthem as one of their songs they sort of put the words to.
Oh, how could you end up with an anthem, national anthem, as a call? That is not your own country, especially.
I think it was the national anthem anyway, but...
yeah, so very various clubs, origins. But I think that still some of them, even though they are not from the same club, still know to play together, because of on the European season, we see club season, we see them often play together on the Leuven team, just because not a lot of Belgian teams women have.
Well,
while we're talking, great actions are happening here.
Yeah. I wanted to give you the space. I was getting excited in my head, though. That was quite the block at the end of that set of play for Martina Kmetsova. Really lovely threading of all those passes together, but getting a bit too hasty. Again, I think that there's a lot of trust amongst the players on this Belgian side, but perhaps a little lacking in attention as to what the defence is doing. Just sort of seeing their options and opportunities and just trying to like route one it a little bit too hard.
That might be underestimating a bit defense.
You can't underestimate Shout, though. They are very, very good. But that's a great battle. Nurl's trying to steal the disc away. Oh, my goodness. Julia Harris. Yes, please. More of that.
She wants more. She has more to show. Great layouts. Defense.
Well, that's definitely gotten me woken back up properly. Jona Satanska into Nurls. Harris just grinding towards the sideline. And the hat coming off as the attempted run through from La Baglia. High release to Castillo, who is in no man's land with no one near her, but that is a lovely shot into the end zone and a hold to keep the dream alive for the Belgian women.
Great point. Here's the intensity. Julia Harris just waiting for this opportunity to jump, throw her body. I mean, she had both hands on the disc, like perfect textbook catch. Hope we get a review on this one. Look at it.
How could we not have a replay of that lovely clap catch layout block?
She saw that one coming and said, nope, not under my watch.
Yeah, originally from the USA is Julia Harris, now living in, well, one would think in Brussels kind of direction because she plays for the Mooncatchers in terms of her club training.
She lives in Brussels because parents have origins from Belgium and then moved back to Belgium for the studies, for work.
Well, hopefully the Belgian women
from Mooncatchers, Mooncap women.
Yeah, and it's lovely to see Mooncatchers actually coming out and putting some mixed teams in. They were playing as Honeymoon in Padova. Oh, lovely stuff though, exploiting the break side for Bologna. Capucci waiting patiently for her teammates to join her. Now, the other Capucci. Oh, but look at the defense from the Belgians. They are really trying to gun for it, but that is a really lovely use of the space and an easy score for Elena Bengi. Now 11-8 for the Bolognian side.
Capucci running everywhere, as usual. And Bengi for the finisher.
That's again, it's another example of Shout having that flow that just looks almost unstoppable. They need to get some defensus interruptus. Maybe we might see the zone again.
The zone seemed to be what worked the best.
Well, apart from when, you know, they're getting these huge run through and layout blocks.
Once in a while.
But that is how match defense works, though. You know, and on a really high-level offense team, like you're gonna have to play a lot of defense where it's match person coverage, and you just have to, you know, really be on the shoulder, put that pressure on, that pressure on, that pressure on, and get sort of, you know, reach a critical point when then the block comes.
Exactly. It doesn't come just with one pass. It has to be worked on the whole game. But I wanted to say, even though Shout is a club team playing against the national team, almost all of their players are national team players, whether they played junior or and now reaching the elite level, or already been playing in the elite world for years, but all of them have national experience and national team package.
Yeah, they're up on that level. They're all hanging tough here. There's a big old moment of letting Naomi Newell sort of just chill out pretty much on her own. Softening off those handler resets. Oh, but that's a lot of contact. You can see De Hasp sort of closing her eyes as the kind of clap catch went awry there. Immediately accepted foul call. Kromheke there.
Oh!
He's going to call the strip. Komheke, of course, coming from Gentle. Lovely low catch for Nils, the Frisbee on home turf.
Ooh, Martina trying for this poach.
Oh, yes. A little bit of a look down to call the space required, and that's a beautiful shot over the top. Nice idea, but just enough of a paw on it for Marcassini. Changes the flight path and denies the goal.
Nice look, positioning from Marcassini to get just a touch on the disc and prevent the Belgian player to get her hand on it.
Holsters the route, wanting, nearly redeemed, but I think the fingertips of Ola Jonas Stastanska.
Some acrobatic moves.
Yeah, manages to just stop it. She'll pick up. Vertical stack, a little bit delayed on those first cuts. Not getting that early movement to try and escape the defenders. Inside shot. Oh my goodness, what a grab. Ella Komheke throws it low. Della Fortri with the adjustment to make sure she's going to throw for the goal. And that is a secure pass as it gets.
Komheke showing some acrobatic moves as well. The ballerina on stage.
Well, Ella Komheke. She's Masters player. She's 35, but clearly she is in the shape of a spring chicken. She must do some
of a 20-year-old girl.
Absolutely. Well, just showing that, you know, you look after your body, you respect your training, and you can do it all, no matter what the number on your passport says.
Years is in the mind. Beautiful point. Well executed. That is 9-10 game. Score getting tighter, but we heard the jingle for the 3 minutes left.
The 5 minutes. 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left up to the game. So Belgium really has to step up for this defense.
Bonfante with the eyes on the prize, but the defense comes in.
Defense stepping up. A lot of contact. Apparently a call, but let's have a look on it. I think defense was made before.
Well, both players were definitely trying to attack a very similar space from a sort of similar position. It did look a little bit to me like Avielle had a bit more better position, and actually Venturi did have to change her angle to try and attack the disc because it was a slight underthrow from Bonfante, but that one will go back.
Great defense attacking the discs. They need that. They need 3 breaks to be leading the game. As we see, they set up again the zone defense in order to get a hand on the disc for these exactly longer shots as we've just seen.
Yeah, Shout's defense has been firing, but some of their shots haven't been picture perfect when they've been on offense. They do have some things to improve on. They are not infallible. Big one over the top to try and find Chesky. Gets there. Dish back. Chesky deciding she wants to throw at least one pass and receive one pass from all of her players that are on the pitch. But it's a really good way to just keep the disc moving. And now a melt to match for the Belgians. Can they close the door? Capucci looking around. Pressure on the resets. Easy up line. Where is the defense? trying to sag off and poach off, but that's going to be lovely exploitation of the break side and ever closer. We haven't had time fully expire yet, but I doubt we're going to get to the full 15 points cap. And one more to keep the commanding lead. We're trading now. Belgium maybe left it too late to wake up in this game, Charlotte.
I think so. They needed to step up from the beginning to start their play from the start, especially on the offense, to not get broken as they did, because this is what makes the game tougher then, because you have to step up and get your breaks back. But also the other team on the other side is fired up because they are leading the game. They are in full trust, and this is a big advantage when you're playing, when you're confident about your play, about what you can do. It can be dangerous because then you can be overconfident, but it isn't the case of Shout. They know about it and they will keep fighting. Even though they had 3 points lead, whenever they got broken, they were shouting as the shouters and cheering, because you cannot let yourself down. Don't get comfortable with your position.
Well, there we hear the jingle indicating that time has expired, so we will finish this point and then add 1 to the maximum tally. So either game to 13 or 14, depending on if Belgium can hold on and put together some slick and silky offense. They do have 2 silkers on the team, so, you know, Silky isn't too far away from that. Great grab low for Jonas Sanska. Oh, but throws straight into the poaching off Francesca Ugliolini with a brilliant piece of step-off defense.
Great hand block. She saw that hug coming.
Laffy shoots it low to Colina. Giardini is through. But that might be a little bit too far, and a great smack down, just the fingertips of Naomi Knowles required. Knowles trying to hang around, coming under. Slicing through to Brugge. Easy one in stride. Satanska has the momentum, she has the shot, and there is the space to put it into Desmay with the goal, her first for this game.
Beautiful run from Desmay, outrunning her defense, and the teammates also here in case anything happened, you never know, to back up. But Desmay doesn't need a backup. She got everything under control. Look at this beautiful run. Nice leg turn, grab. Beautiful hug as well.
Yeah, Jonas Satanska with the momentum on that far sideline. Plays her club ultimate for the Owls team, but there's a lot of wisdom in this Belgian side, a lot of masters level players. They've been playing for a really long time. They coach as well, of course. Belgium having such a great development, sort of just all of their local clubs seem to just have millions of juniors springing around like little baby lambs. It's gorgeous to watch them.
Especially if you see in Bruges and Ghent, the Frisbees and Gentle Club have a lot of juniors. We saw some of them at the clinic on Thursday. Juniors everywhere. This is something you rarely see in Europe, but Belgium and Italy actually also have a lot of work done on the juniors, which is amazing to see. Wait a few years and these countries are going to shine.
Absolutely, and hopefully Belgium will also shine at the European Championships later this year, but at the moment it's about can they use the wisdom to take the disc away from the Italians, and they get a gimme. Scazzieri with a drop on the far sideline. Krumheke picking it up. Fancy footwork, delicate from Eva Maxson to make sure on this slippery, slidey pitch surface she retains possession.
This is the chance for the break. Belgium needs to use this and not lose the disc.
Absolutely, match point for the Italians, their first of potentially many. But that one's going to trail Bonfante, just marshalling well.
Too much traffic in front of the disc. There were no opening. Good mark on the around as well to prevent any kind of dump. Belgium offense didn't adapt to that and couldn't make it for the point. And that was almost a Callahan here.
Yeah, great rescue from Bonfante, just hitting the deck to make sure, but Scazzieri with a second drop.
This time, more understanding. That was a tough one to get. It was out of her running direction.
Well, things looking a little bit more frantic for the defense. Kromheke opens up. There's a pick call.
Julie,
unsurprising.
Harris definitely looking for that breakthrough. Didn't know how to put it. Good defense from Bonfante to prevent that breaks side throw.
Well, Kromheke is someone who is very rapid. Actually, a national champion in the open division here in Belgium.
Apparently, yes. She was playing on the team winning.
But there we go, a little bit too close for comfort. Nadège Hombergen stretches out but can't quite collect that one on the break side. Too much zest.
That is so unfortunate.
But
a bit too excited for this break opportunity.
Bonfante taking her time to get it back into play. Relatively short spread from Shouts. There's Maxon just hanging out in the deep space with the time given from the walkthrough from Bonfante for the Belgians to put together his own. A little bit of flail defense this time. Scazzieri able to connect with her team.
Without fouling the defense player already on position.
Maxon on the attack, but that's going to be a goal for sure. Scazzieri, after the 2 errors, finally puts this one in the books. BFD Shout will beat the Belgian women 13-10, the final score here. Women's power pools at Tom's Tourney 2023. That's not the hopes ended of the Belgian women, of course. This is just playing for position into the bracket. The top 2 power pools, M and N, going into quarter-finals at 5:30 this fine Saturday evening. But stay tuned with us. We will be bringing you plenty more game action all day, including a second look at the Belgian women. We didn't have them on the stream yesterday, so we're having them twice today. They'll be facing off at 1:45 local Central European time against the Czech Republic women's national team. But coming up on this field in the next game slot, about 10 minutes time, Charlotte, who do we have?
We'll have the Frisbee Bears from Germany facing the GBU24 National Open team.
So that's going to be a spicy one. This one gave us lots of highlights, lots of play. Shout are looking in form, but I think generally it was the Belgian women who came in a little bit on the flat foot and took too long to wake up. But we'll hopefully see them firing on all cylinders in their match later this afternoon. But for myself, Hannah Penderbury, our tireless ULTI.TV crew, and Charlotte Terrason, we will see you with the next one, 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.